Hi everyone. This video will show you how to compare two tangent values and determine which one is greater and which one is lesser. We find tangent of theta by dividing the y-coordinate by the x-coordinate, and a really easy way to think of this is we can just look at the slope of the line on the terminal side to give us an idea of how big or how small the tangent is. If I'm at 0 or 180 degrees, my terminal side is going to be a horizontal line, which means that the slope is going to be 0. As I get closer to the top of the circle in my first quadrant, notice that my slopes keep getting steeper and more positive, and same in the third quadrant. As I get closer to the bottom of the circle, my slopes get steeper and more positive. So as I approach 90 degrees in the first quadrant, and as I approach 270 degrees in the third quadrant, my tangent is just going to keep getting greater and greater and greater. As I get closer to 90 degrees in the second quadrant, or as I get closer to 270 degrees in the fourth quadrant, notice that my lines get steeper and steeper and steeper, but more negative. And same with the fourth quadrant. As I get closer to 270 degrees, the bottom of the circle, the lines get steeper and steeper and steeper and more negative. Therefore, the closer I get to 90 degrees in quadrant 2, the more negative my tangent value will get. And the closer I get to 270 degrees in quadrant 4, the more negative my tangent value will get. As a reminder, the simplest way to look at this is just comparing the slope of the lines and seeing which one is greater by paying attention to the steepness and whether the slope is positive or negative. Which is greater, tangent of 13 degrees or tangent of 250 degrees? Begin by drawing the two rotations in the circle. 13 degrees is going to be in the first quadrant between 0 and 90 degrees. And 250 degrees is going to be in the third quadrant between 180 and 270 degrees, and closer to 270 degrees. When we compare the slopes of the two lines, we can see that both of them have positive slopes, and we can see that the 250 degree angle, the line that the terminal side lies on, has a steeper slope. Therefore, the tangent of 250 degrees is greater, and the tangent of 13 degrees is lesser. Try this one on your own. Which is greater, tangent of 109 degrees or tangent of 130 degrees? Pause the video and do it now. Both angles lie in the second quadrant because they're between 90 degrees and 180 degrees. 109 degrees will be closer to 90 degrees, and 130 degrees will be closer to 180 degrees. If we look at the steepness of the two lines, 109 degrees has a steeper slope, and since they're both negative, that means 109 degrees is more negative, and 130 degrees is less negative, closer to 0. Therefore, Tangent of 130 degrees is going to be greater, and tangent of 109 degrees is going to be lesser. So, in conclusion, if we want to compare two tangent values, first we draw the rotations, then we observe the slopes of their lines, and whichever slope is greater will have a greater value for tangent. Whichever slope is lesser will have a lesser value for tangent.